Good Tuesday evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it might be for
Tuesday.
whoever's listening. For whoever's listening to us, yes, welcome into Auto Rhythm.
If
I am Jamie,
you're
and
in
that is
Hawaii, who knows?
that's Eli on the other side.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes,
Ah,
okay.
Eli, and I'd like to introduce you to my friend Jameson right here. I think I'm going to be taking a little shotsy of him. Chad
Yeah.
can't be with us tonight, of course. He's a busy guy.
Oh, I'm
Let's
sure
get
he
this.
is.
All right. In
Cheers.
spirit, he's here.
Yes.
Salute, my friend.
Cheers. Cheers, my friend. Mm.
And let's get the chaser.
Ooh, a chaser. Come on, you're
Ah,
a pansy.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy shit,
I need
man!
those
Look at
electrolytes, man. That pickle juice, that's good shit.
that
So,
pickle juice.
there's Chad. I'm still
Yep.
grooving from the intro, man. Give us those ranks. You wait just a damn minute, Donovan.
uh,
Of course, Jared.
yes.
Shadow.
Yep. Jared's here too. I mean, no, it's awesome, man. I'm glad you guys are here. You know what? You know what is also
Family,
awesome?
got a family affair.
Also awesome is we almost got
Awesome
20 subs.
sauce.
Awesome sauce.
Oh,
What I'm
sweet.
trying to say is,
Well,
yeah,
it's
we
not
almost
because
got 20.
it's not because of this show. It's probably because of what you guys are doing on Sundays.
Maybe, who knows? No, I mean, actually, I think we got another follower. I think a guy named Riddler. I think he popped on and he's like, "Oh, hey guys, yeah, I got some good content and stuff like that." So I mean, that was awesome. So it's kind of like, ooh, kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah,
It is.
that's great.
It's hella. It is great because I know you messaged me a little bit last night. Your brother was kind of comparing, and it's like he watched us on Sunday, and he was like, "Dude." And it was a nice, pretty much nice kind of a calm, relaxed show, kind of informative and whatnot, So I was, I think Donovan and I got some good stuff going on. It's a work in progress, but things will get there. I mean, just like the show too. I mean, we're slowly kind of working our magic. It takes time to get all this stuff in line.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And this is a nice change up. I was telling Jay that we were texting. I was like, what you guys do and then what we do is you get it's like sweet and sour. If you're I love me some sweet and sour chicken. You get a little bit of the calmness and a lot of the information and the stuff that Donovan and Jamie bring on Sundays, and a lot of baseball, and I got my Yankees jersey here, and supporting them. And then Tuesday we're a little more crazy. We're a little more, oh god, Jameson. You know, I can't be without my drink. Just a reminder for Eli. Yeah, you know what, Chad? Oh, apparently I need to activate my McAfee antivitamin. Uh, Jay, I think we should have a super show. I really, with baseball coming up. I'm not sure about this Sunday, but the first week of April, like to kick off the baseball season. I don't know if we could set something like that up, but have a super show where maybe I can pop in, Chad,
well, well,
get on with you and Donovan.
Well, here's something that might happen. Govier does a night before, like pretty much
Saturday
an
show,
opening
doesn't he?
season. He'll be doing
Oh,
another Bozo
the night
Fest.
night before
Yep.
opening day. I got
So
you.
he'll be on for like 2 hours or something or so. I mean, he'll just get random people on to talk baseball, and if you can, I kind of to mention to him, hey, I want to pop on with you if all possible, and if you're around, we both can maybe jump on and um, get on
Oh,
his show
that'd be
for a little bit.
absolutely, man. That's big ticket. We're the ticket stubs. That's big ticket right there. And we want to get you.
uh, uh, oh, and I think he froze too. God dang it! Yeah, Eli was actually rebooting
Hey,
his
I blame it
computer.
on. There's a blizzard going on up at. There's a blizzard going on where Jamie's at. There's probably going to be a little delay tonight. But yeah, no, uh, Chad, yeah, you were right. I mean, I'll give you that. I mean, I'll give the devil his due. Princeton's looked impressive so far, but their tournament. We might get to that towards the end of the stream here. Princeton season's going to come to an end. Chad, sorry, Creighton's going to smack them around, and
I like
it,
Creighton.
yep, be Sweet 16. Bye byes, hasta pasta. Bye byes, Chad.
Yeah, yeah. I like Prince. Not Princeton. I always been a Creighton fan, so I mean, they've always kind of been around, kind of been in that mixture a little bit. They've kind of Sweet 16 and stuff like that before too, as well. So I mean, it's they're always a team to kind of reckon with. Even though they're a little down here and there, but I mean, they're always a team to that kind of spoils brackets.
I could see, with your love of the Toronto Blue Jays, and blue's your favorite color. I could totally see you having like if Creighton made the Final Four, like having like a Creighton background or something,
Oh hell yeah, dude!
or
I'll be
working
all
working
about it.
men with they they have like they have the Jackrabbits and Oregon and all these other some of the college logos we have on the background. Maybe we could show some love to Creighton, throw them in too.
Right?
Um,
It
well,
is.
they're here. They're here for NFL talk. Should we get into that?
But first of all,
Oh,
make
well,
sure
Discord. Yep. Get
yeah,
that.
make sure you guys actually join our Discord. I mean, we want some more people up in there. We want people involved. The baseball season's around the corner, and then we'll have football this fall. So if you want to talk a little baseball, sure, come jump in with us. And yeah, it might be an interesting year. Come on, we got a little crew going on right now, but more the better, right? We want that million. We want those millions and millions and millions in the Discord.
You say you kind of sounded like The Rock there. The millions and millions.
Yep. But you know what? Where can they actually find us at?
Well, strange you should ask me. Uh, Spotify. How about some Google podcasts? Maybe some Apple podcasts. Maybe some apple pie. My last name is Appletoft, so kind of work it in applesauce. But yeah,
Uh,
we're available quite a few platforms, so you can find us obviously. YouTube. You can Google us. Maybe we have some photos up of us now, or better yet, I think we should get a photographer, and I think me and Jay need to take some nudies. I think that would help the viewership of the show. Is if me and Jamie were
uh,
half naked. We did like like a calendar shoot or something, like a dress up like firefighters or something. I think that would help. But until
uh,
me and Jay can get half naked, in some banana hammocks or mankinis or whatever. Yeah, keep listening to the show here, Discord, Spotify, Google, Apple, wherever. We're growing, baby. Jamie said we added 20 subs, so yeah, just keep growing the channel, and yeah, if you like what you see on Tuesdays, if you haven't checked out the Sunday show yet, that's great. We've been talked about it a little bit here at the beginning of the show. It's a lot of
yep.
baseball talk and another miss. If there's a major thing that news article that breaks, Jay and Donovan will talk about that as well. But yeah, this is more of a football show, and then that's more of the baseball side. So yeah, go check out both shows. Show some support to both shows if you haven't.
Yes, there we go, man. It's the baseball side is. I'll tell you this. I mean, it's a work in progress, man. Because there's one guy in the Discord is like a football guy being enthused about baseball is pretty well impressive. I'm like, yeah, it's a work in progress, man. I've learned quite a bit this last year and some, and it's fun. It kind of gives you a different aspect of some fantasy sports. I mean, I just love the fact that you know baseball's fun. There's 300 and 400 some odd players, and yeah, you just never know. So there's a lot of variety with baseball than it is with football too.
Oh, yeah, a lot more players, a lot more prep work. Yeah, Jay's
Yeah,
been
it
putting in the
is.
time, absolutely, as is Donovan, and Donovan mentioned in the comment there that they might be moving their show, so we'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, they're doing great stuff. So show some support to both shows, absolutely.
Yep. But I think we should get into a little NFL news, and then we'll get into some of those fun rankings that everybody wants to hear about. You know, because I'm sure everybody's going to be tearing us apart for our rankings. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting. But first of all,
Bring it on.
right? Um, the Panthers signed Adam Thielen to 3 years, 25 mil, and Miles Sanders 4 years, 25 mil.
Uh, my initial, I think I saw the Thielen thing on Facebook. Because there's a lot of Vikings fans I know that. Uh, my initial impression was he shot. So I don't know what you're going to get out of Adam Thielen. I know the Packers were interested. There was a couple teams that were interested, and he's a good locker room guy. Uh, good guy in general, obviously, but just I don't know what he's going to bring fantasy wise. I mean, this was a good landing spot because they just lost DJ Moore. I mean, I guess Laviska Chenault, but he's not a one or two in my opinion. Never will be. Um, who's the other kid I'm thinking of?
Oh, Terrence
Oh,
Marshall.
Terrence Marshall. Yeah, Terrence Marshall will never be a one. I mean, maybe he could be a two. You know, at some point, and he's still a younger guy, but this was a good spot for him based on what's left of his skill set. To try to be somewhat productive, but he's not the Adam Thielen from 5 years ago. Obviously, that guy's never coming back. But it's about what 8 mil a year. That's not terrible, and two overpays, two poor signings. Uh,
The Panthers
I
overall,
I don't I don't I don't. I was gonna say about Miles. I'll let you get in here, Jay. But I was gonna say
yeah.
about Miles Sanders too. I think that's a great signing. 6 mil a year. Now, that's not crazy amount of money. This guy ran for like 1,200 yards last year. So I mean, I know it was with Jalen Hurts and that great offensive line in Philly, but I don't see why he couldn't put up at least what Foreman was doing.
Foreman had about 1,000 some odd yards.
Yeah,
With how bad they were. I mean, Foreman put up. If
yeah,
Foreman can do it, I mean, I don't see why Miles Sanders can't put up those kind of numbers.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I think Miles Sanders. I think he's a top 15 running back. I don't. I'll get your opinion and some of the other guys too, but I think he's a top 15 running back. 6 mil a year for a top 15 running back. That's not bad.
no,
I
I mean,
I think they're solid. These aren't like home run signings, obviously, or trades or anything, but I think it's solid. I like what Frank Reich and Carolina's doing.
yeah. And when I seen the Adam Thielen, signing and DJ Moore going to the Bears, it's kind of like, what does the Panthers have for wide receivers for a core? It's not no top ace, that's for damn sure. And
Oh,
I mean, well,
Coach
while we're
Charles Barkley. It's
yeah,
it's terrible, Jamie. It's
yeah.
terrible.
I mean, I like the Miles Sanders signing to a little bit. I mean, even though he's, kind of got that attitude, well, don't pick me up in fantasy football and yada yada. It's like kind of puts a poor, taste in your mouth because it's like, dude, why would I want somebody like that on my team? Like, well, don't pick me up in freaking fantasy because I don't know if I'm starting or yeah, just some dumb comments that it's kind of makes you turn off from a guy like that because I didn't have him. Yeah, he might be great, but I turned away from somebody like that because I rather have somebody else that's a little bit more valuable in my eyes, anyways. But since we're kind of talking about the whole Miles Sanders and Adam Thielen thing here, I'm gonna pop this up here real quick, and we'll see what I want to get some opinions on with everybody else. Even though one of
White
it
for
has
it. White
changed,
for it.
that it has changed, but yeah.
There we
I
there
actually
we go.
I actually posted this up in the Discord because it's like, well, after DJ Moore left, and it's kind of like, let's I kind of wanted. I was thinking about the core a little bit. Terrence Marshall's been there, with the addition of Thielen and then maybe Schultz being their number three. Yeah, I got Hubbard as their number one guy before this all happened, so I didn't get an opportunity to put Miles Sanders in there. But I know. What do you think when you see this core? When you see this, would you draft any of these guys?
God. Yeah, I'm a straight shooter, man. I think that there's some upside in Terrence Marshall. I have for a couple years. I think he's a solid late round pick, and he did come on towards the end of last year. After CMC was traded and Robbie Anderson, some of the other moves that they made. So um, I I honestly, I'll see who's the quarterback. If it's Bryce Young, who I think I would bet money on that because of what they gave up to get up there, up to number one. I mean, I don't think you do that for Richardson or CJ Stroud. Um, so I think it's gonna be Bryce Young. Bryce Young's gonna be great in my opinion. It's just how fast he picks this up. So these three guys are fully dependent on Bryce Young, and I'm not sure if a veteran's going to be in there for a little bit, and kind of like Trubisky was last year, with Pittsburgh, he was killing 4 or 5 of the Pickett games towards the beginning of the season. So I'm not sure if Carolina's going to have a veteran in there for the first half of the season, just kind of eating up time. Didn't they sign Andy Dalton? That's what I'm
Yes,
thinking
they
of.
did.
Yeah,
Yep, yep,
yeah. So
yep, they
Andy,
signed Dalton.
but Andy, in Andy's defense, he can sling it a little bit. I mean, he has some decent games with the Saints. So, I mean, I think of those three, though, I would feel the safest. Like if let's say there was an auto draft or something, and I was like, okay, I'm stuck with one of these three guys. I'd feel the most comfortable with Terrence Marshall. And for running backs, my thoughts on Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders is a top 15 running back. I think that's a good signing. Hubbard, he's good out of the backfield, catching balls. That's kind of his role. That was his role with Foreman end of last year, and he's never going to be an every down back. But if he can get you, um, maybe 550, 600 yards rushing, and then maybe another, another 300-400 receiving. I think he's capable of that. Like in
Yeah,
Frank Reich's offense, Frank Reich knows what he's doing on offense. I think like if Hubbard put together like a 900 yard cumulative
mm,
yard season as the backup, I think that's a damn good season.
yep.
Like 900 total yards between running and receiving. I think that's a damn good backup running back. And you never know.
Yeah,
Miles Sanders might go down with an injury, and then Hubbard's shown the ability to come in and for at least a few games. He's never going to be an RB1, and he's not going to be starting he's not going to be a 1 or 2 on somebody's fantasy team or even a flex guy, but he'll be a nice guy at the end of your bench, in my opinion.
yeah. Chad, do you want to elaborate on the DJ Shark thing? Because yeah, I'm a little. I mean, I know he's still out there, but he hasn't signed anywhere. I mean, yeah, he might have, maybe visited with the Panthers, but I mean, if he did, he hasn't signed anywhere yet, from what I saw. I mean,
Chark doesn't honestly, Jay. Chark doesn't do anything for me. He
yeah,
really has.
I mean,
He
he
really
didn't do
hasn't done. I know
much.
he's been hurt, but last year with Detroit, he kind of.
Yeah,
I know injuries have been a part of it, but he hasn't really done anything in probably about 3 years.
yeah,
When he was Jacksonville. So
yeah,
DJ Chart, he doesn't. He would probably even on this depth chart, he'd be like what, a 3.
yeah, maybe 3 or 4. I think. I mean, honestly, I think Thielen would be the 2, and Marshall be the 1 there. But and when you're looking at this, yeah, I mean, Chad, yeah, they signed Hayden Hurst, but I mean, either way, I mean, a starting core with Hurst, and it's when I did this was way before like anything else had happened. When I did this was way before they even signed, Hurst. If Shark is in the mix, I mean, yeah, Shark had a few decent games. I mean, he did pop a little bit with when he was with the Lions. It's so don't get me wrong with that, but yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Just overall, this is going to be a kind of a weird, odd mixture of players when it comes to the Panthers, and this will once the draft happens, I'm sure this will be a whole different looking core after the draft. It depends on what they do, if they draft a rookie, or if they which if they do get a QB, if it is Stroud or if it's going to be Richardson. So you just don't. Right now yeah, it's hard saying because right now it's all just feelers of this guy might go here. So it's to me, whenever the draft happens is when it happens. That's the way I see it, anyways. But yeah, I don't know about that. Possibly, but Hurst, he didn't do. I don't think well, I'll have to go back and take a look because I know what he did. He was a comfort for Burrows in, um, with the in Cincinnati, but
See? So we become accustomed to Hayden Hurst kind of being like an afterthought because of who he was working with. But Chad might not be out in left field with this. I mean, he doesn't a young court. Okay, if it's going to be a rookie, Andy Dalton for a little bit, but they'll move off him, so it'll probably more than likely be Bryce Young. What do young quarterbacks love? They love the tight end. So Chad's not out in left field with this. Hayden Hurst might have more value. He'll definitely have more value than he did in Cincy. Absolutely.
well,
Uh,
yeah, we'll get you can bring this comment up later, Chad, because yeah, that's kind of that'll become more of a ranking thing. So yeah,
But you know what? But yeah. Chad is right though about like where Hayden hurt. He was working with three damn good receivers,
oh
and
yeah,
and
most definitely,
and
yeah,
now he's working with a lot of like none of these guys would be a one. I don't even know if I mean I don't even think any of these guys would be a two anywhere. Like
yeah,
of like good teams, I don't think either of these guys would crack that. I think maybe a third receiver at best on like a like a contending team. So yeah, Hayden Hurst is he's gonna rack up some targets. Absolutely, I agree with Chad.
yeah. Yep, it is, I mean, yeah, we're not even quite there yet, but still, I mean, it's yeah,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
can bring up yeah. I mean, oh, yeah, most definitely, I mean, I actually did I did rank 32 guys here this morning, and I'll just tell you, the AFC side was kind of a pain in the arse. I was not, I wasn't too happy with it, but yeah, other than that, I just kind of want to bring that up real quick since we were kind of talking about some of the Thielen and Miles Sanders signings. I just thought it just kind of be kind of fun to kind of talk about the core, their starting core a little bit too. So it's because a different aspect of if you want to draft some of these guys or not.
Yeah, absolutely. What other big signings of the week, Jay?
Yeah, I don't
Was
know
there another
about
one? Oh
big.
yes, Texans made two B minus signings. But hey, we'll make a bigger deal out of it than it should be, because that's what we
Yeah,
do here on the Out of Rhythm show. Uh, I like the Schultz signing. I'll put it that way. Singletary does nothing for me. You know,
yeah,
I understand Buffalo. I mean, they run the ball maybe 10 times a game. I get it. And then Josh Allen runs the other 20. But
yeah.
so they didn't make much use of the running backs there. But I mean, you're going to be behind Damian Pierce.
Yeah,
It's
no,
no,
that's gonna be the thing about it
so
too.
he's so he's going to be a backup at best. And
A good complimentary back.
yeah. Or if Pierce gets hurt again, I mean, it was his rookie year. I mean, maybe he stays healthy the next 5, 6 years, or he's an injury-prone back, which a lot of these guys tend to be. So, nice security there. I like what the Texans are doing in their backfield, but nothing special there.
Yeah.
Schultz was a damn good tight end. I can't,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
until I looked at the numbers. Until I looked at what he's done the last 3 years. I didn't realize like he's in the top 10, top seven actually in a bunch of tight end statistics.
Oh yeah. He
Category
is.
touchdowns, targets,
Yep.
receptions, yards. He's in the top seven of all four of those
Oh yeah. I mean, he
for
is. I
for
mean,
2020 to 2022.
yep. I mean, after with whatever quarterback does go to the Texans, they're gonna love him, and he's only 26 years old too. So I mean, he's got a little. I mean, he's got life left, in the tank yet. So I mean, it's and I was hoping they would have kept him, but in turns, I think this will be good overall for the Texans. We have Jake Ferguson, who I think will kind of fill that.
I like Ferguson. I
Yep,
like
he'll fill
Ferguson.
that role there. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I like the fact that them. I was kind of curious to kind of see where Singletary will end up landing. And I was kind of curious a little bit with how the Bills' backfield was going to turn out too. But they end up signing Damian Harris, so I think that's going to be kind of almost a similar role of what Singletary is going to be playing. I think Cooks will end up being Cook's going to take that one role, Harris, or they might vice versa. But I think Cooks will take that lead back's role. But
See, I don't honestly, man, I don't understand some of these teams, like the logic. To me, Damian Harris and Devin Singletary, that's a wash. Like you might have, if you were going to go that route, you might have you might as well just re-signed Singletary. You know what I mean? They're kind of like even backs here. Uh, fuck you. What? Get out of here. My mic's attacking me here. Get out of here. Uh, Probably because I brought up I mean, Damian Harris 2 years ago was a touchdown machine. Don't get me wrong, but he kind of lost favor, especially when Ramondre Stevenson's blown.
Yeah.
Harris was never going to see the field from there on out. But yeah, I mean, Buffalo honestly should have gone the rookie route. I mean, they should have drafted somebody in the fourth, fifth round, and had somebody a comp to what Singletary was doing. To me, that Harris sign was kind of like I didn't understand it, but yeah, I think Singletary is a nice backup for Pierce, and I think I like I like their tight ends. Like if they can get a quarterback, like if C.J. Stroud actually pans out, that's who I'm assuming the Texans are going to take it to. Like if he actually pans out, they got two damn good tight ends. I like Akins and I like Schultz.
Yeah, Akins is not bad at all. I mean,
No,
I mean,
no, no, no.
he had a few touchdowns in there too. Because I remember there was some times where he actually kind of bursted out of nowhere. Everybody's like, "What?" So I know he's kind of been kind of hiding a little bit, and I know he kind of came out of the clouds a little bit, and everybody's like, "Oh."
Oh,
Yeah.
pop for
Yeah, I
cat.
mean,
Well, I think the Texans have. I think Singletary and Pierce are a little bit better than Kansas City's backfield. But
yeah, I mean,
I mean, just
Piacco
most
is all
weeks. I mean,
right.
there'll be a week where McKinnon's got 2 touchdowns or Pacheco's got 90 yards rush. Andy
Yeah.
Reid's a fucking wizard. I mean, but I'd say of the 17 weeks, more than half I would take the Texans backfield. So I think they have
Yep.
a little better situation.
Yep. Chad said he's got some breaking news.
Ooh,
I wonder what that's
ooh.
going to be.
What do you got
Uh,
for me, Chad?
Yeah. While he's waiting, while we're waiting for the breaking news,
Oh, hey,
well,
I was gonna mention too. I put that on the bottom scroll. DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody was assuming he was going to be traded. I guess he signed a 2-year extension with the Cardinals. What do you think about that? Working with Kyler and those guys in their couple years.
who what?
D Hop.
Oh, he resigned with
Yeah,
the
they gave
Cardinals?
him
Oh.
another 2-year deal.
Oh shit, man. That's I guess I didn't actually take a look at my phone yet. I pretty much been snoozing most of the day.
Yeah.
Hit that snooze a couple times and I'm like, "Oh
Oh, I
shit,
gotta get up.
six." Yep, yep. It's like, "Oh shit, 6 o'clock. I gotta get up and start doing something." But no, I mean that's actually, there was a lot of rumors of, maybe Dallas trying to get D Hop, but I'm actually I'm glad that Dallas didn't sign him because we actually we'll bring up the other guy here in a moment. But no, D Hop, I think he's going to be in a good place if they can. Kyler will be coming back sometime this upcoming year. Just who's going to be the replacement for the meantime. But D Hops, I think is. I mean, he's their number one. He's their number one guy down there. I mean, can't give him up, man. Because if not, I mean, the Cardinals don't have anything else down there. A lot of it's kind of trash.
Yeah, Rondale Moore. He didn't do anything for me.
He's a smaller guy. They don't have, they got rid of Christian Kirk the year before. I mean, he was,
Which
he could
was,
have
I mean,
been.
we see what he's doing in Jackson. We see. I mean, the guy's probably a top 10 AFC receiver, which we'll get into in a little bit. Yeah,
Yes.
you see how they mismanaged Christian Kirk in Arizona. So I just don't think they know what they're doing out there.
Yeah.
Kyler's gonna be hurt half the year.
Yeah.
So and they're paying him. I mean, they're paying D Hop like he's Devontae. They're paying him like he's AJ Brown. They're paying him like he's still D Hop. From 5, 6, 7 years ago, and he's just not that guy anymore. So I think it's
Yeah.
wasted money. Honestly, I would have
Yeah.
let him go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 27. I mean, that's over 27 million a year, man. Like that's a serious chunk of change. I mean, that's more than what AJ Brown's getting paid per year, and AJ Brown is the elite of the elite.
Yeah. He
So I mean,
is.
that's just that was my thoughts on it. It was like, wow, he got that much money.
Right.
Hmm.
That is insane. But yeah. I thought this was a good signing. I mean, it's, if anything does happen to Pierce, Singletary, he can come in and fill that. fill that role if needed to be.
As agreed.
Yes, and the other quick news is, boom, Dallas trades
Well, if
for Brandon Cooks. Whoop whoop.
people have been living under a rock the last couple days, this happened. Uh, Brandon Cooks was traded to the Cowboys, which I thought would happen last year, but I guess the money situation was a little funky with Dallas's cap. Uh,
Yeah,
from what I remember at the trading deadline, I think we probably brought it up on this show. Was hey, the Cowboys going to go get some help? Are they going to try to go for the chip? They're going to try to get another receiver. So
yeah.
I he's been. I think it's concussion issues from what I've been reading and hearing about why he keeps moving from team to team to team, because this guy's a damn productive receiver.
Oh, yeah,
Usually,
dude, I've
I
been
don't think
f
I don't think he's a cancer, like a locker room cancer. I don't think he's a
no.
headache. I don't think he's difficult. I just think it's teams moving off him, but he was productive with the Saints, the Rams, the Texans.
Yeah,
When he's healthy, he's a damn good receiver. I like, and he's not going to come in and expect it. Like the Texans probably brought him in to be okay. You're going to be our one. And Brandon Cooks is better as a two. Like when he was with the Saints, that's when the Saints were. I mean, they should have beat the Rams in the 18 NFC title game and faced the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That should have happened with
yeah.
that loaded Saints offense. But I remember he was the number two with Michael Thomas. So I think working with CD Lamb here,
No,
if you stay,
yeah,
he's
and
and
Col
Michael Gallup,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. But I think he's going to have a lot of value with Dallas. I really do. I think if he stays on the field, he's going to have a deceptively good year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was actually talking to somebody else too last night about the whole Brandon Cooks thing, and I think he's still got some speed to him, overall. And I just think that if we need somebody to really go downfield, he can get downfield pretty quick yet, for his age. And he did play some slot, in the slot role a little bit too when he was with the Saints. He did that a little bit with, so I think he probably I think they'll kind of mix it up,
Good
with
slot guy. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a damn good role for him.
Because
I think
CeeDee
he's
Lamb played some of that role a little bit, when Coop was there, and then, when we did have Gallup there too as well. But, I think if we need to go him on the outside a little bit, I think there'll be a few plays where he will be on the outside, but maybe he plays the inside a little bit.
yeah. You got your big play guy in CD. Michael Gallup is a solid two or three.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his targets and his yards. I know some of the. I like Tolbert. I think Tolbert could step up. You might not. Obviously you're a fan of the team, but I'm higher on this receiving core than I think you are. I do.
No,
I like Jalen Tolbert. I like Brandon Cooks. Obviously CD and Gallup. But if all these guys stay healthy, I mean, this is going to be a dangerous team. And they get. Ferguson's going to step up to the plate. He's going to get the number one. He's going to get number one targets now. And hey, maybe they take Kincaid. Maybe they take the Kincaid kid from Utah. Restock up. Have two damn good tight ends.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
That
But
would.
I mean, I
Stack this offense. You know what? Enough with the pussyfooting around here. To compete with, especially with Philly and the Giants can score a little bit now. You're gonna have to put up 30 points. And why mess around? The defense is getting old, the offensive line is getting old, and defense is average. Sometimes they pop and are greats on Sundays, but yeah, I would. It depends on if he's available. I would take one of the top two, Mayer or Kincaid. Take another tight end and just stack this offense up. Just have weapons up the ass, and
I
you're
mean,
gonna
I
outscore us. Like
yeah.
like like when McCarthy was in Green Bay. The head coach when he had Rodgers and they had all those weapons. I do the same thing with Dak. I'd be like, Dak's not good enough to do it on his own, but if you give him five weapons, let's go to war. But
Yeah. There's nothing that I don't hate anything about the core. I just don't think Tolbert really meshed with what they were trying to do, and he wasn't quite ready with coming up, being the big show, being in, just being. So I just think he had some issues there, which is why he wasn't playing right away. I mean, yeah, he was. I figured he maybe would
early
have
off,
got. so I figured he would have been playing right away this last year. No, it didn't even happen at all, and I think it was more of a mechanics issue with Tolbert, which is why he didn't play at all. I mean, I think he was in 2 games, but he didn't really do anything. So, I mean, in that aspect, which is why he wasn't on the field at all this year. And Eli froze once again. I think we all need to pitch in and get Eli a new computer where he doesn't freeze. Ah, good God. Yep. This is odd and weird and random. And even though we were supposed to try to get, I think we were gonna wrap up with that whole part there. I think that was pretty much all the news, major news, anyways. Yeah. Let's see if he returns. Maybe he returns. Is he back? Did he return from the living?
Yeah. I went through the metaverse for a little bit. I was surfing on the web, interwebs, and I came back and yeah. Well, it's probably a good time, because we were talking
Yeah,
about the Cowboys and it
yeah,
was a good transition point.
yeah. Is there anything else you want to say real quick? Then we'll get into everybody. Everybody will get into Eli's and mine rankings.
Yeah. No more
No
Cowboy
more?
talk.
Okay. Well,
It's
everybody, we are live here at the Algorithm. So if you're out there in the YouTube world somewhere, come join us. Get in with the conversation because we're gonna be doing some AFC rankings here. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of opinions out there. So come on in, get some tacos, get some tequila, and come join us, man. It's gonna be a
tacos, tequila
yes,
Tuesday.
right? All right,
I
let's
should be
get
the,
in
I should be
this.
like the ShamWow guy. I should be selling commercials. Maybe I'll send you. Maybe I'll sell some laundry detergent late at night. You'll see me at two
Right?
o'clock in the morning. Sell you some
Well,
fucking towels and shit. Sorry, we've cut
well,
out a couple times. Yeah, anybody that's followed the stream, yeah, we've cut out a couple times. I think it's due to the weather or something, but yeah, I'm directly put into my, I'm directly connected to my router, and so is Jamie. So it's, what the hell's going on? But yeah, we'll get to these rankings here. Do you want to start?
yes. Now you can start, big boy, because
Oh,
I'm all
you're a gentleman.
curious.
You're a gentleman.
Yes, I am. I try to be sometimes.
All right, so usually we do we'll do the 1 to 5, 6 to 10. Do you want me to start at the end and work my way to the top, or should
Yeah,
I? You know what? Let's
let's
mix
do
it up a
that.
little bit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start with 11 to 16 first for the AFC receivers. There it is. Yeah, yeah. And a lot of this is based on obviously the 2022 stats and where I project these guys to be. So, and obviously, things can change in the draft. Like if the Titans take another receiver or somebody's traded from the Chargers, Keenan Allen moves or something. I mean, this is all subject to where we are at March 21st. So, Pickens, I like a lot. I know Jamie does too, and I think he's better than Deontay. I think George Pickens will be the number one guy with Pittsburgh this year. Targets and yards. I think he's going to have over 1,000 yards for sure. Mike Williams with Keenan's health. We don't. I could see this being Keenan. Definitely his last year with the Chargers, if not his last year in the NFL. I mean, he's getting long in the tooth. This is going to be his 11th season, and he really started to break. He had a couple good games last year, but with the injuries, they're starting to pile up, and he's having trouble getting on the field. So Mike Williams will be their number one guy. I know Carter and who's the other kid I'm thinking of that they anyway. So Mike Williams, Juju, Patriot. I didn't even know the Patriots side. We didn't even bring that up on the bottom scroll.
I was thinking about it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had over 900 yards last year with the Chiefs, and you can say, well, it's the Patrick Mahomes effect, a little bit, but it's a damn good season. I like Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. I think he's going to come in. I think he's going to fix Mac Jones, and I think Drew's going to be I think he's going to supplant Devontae Parker who's not that great in my opinion, and Jacoby Myers with the Raiders now. So I think Juju's going to come in and be the number one guy with the Patriots. Traylon Burks, I mean, he showed a couple flashes last year as a rookie, and he's got the size, he's got all stuff that you would want in a number one receiver. So I think and who Westbrook Akeen, like who's going to take targets away from him this year? It just depends on who Tennessee's quarterback's going to end up being, but see if they make any moves, or I hope it's not Willis, but you never know. Gabe Davis, the Bills' number 2 receiver. Uh, Now the McKenzie's out of the picture. I mean, he didn't have a lot of. I mean, he had 400 yards or something. I mean, he wasn't a great
Yeah.
number 3 or anything, but I mean, it's a 2-man show in Buffalo. It's gonna be Diggs and it's gonna be Gabe Davis. So I'll put
Yeah.
him at 15.
Yeah.
I, I
Davis had about 836 yards. So I mean,
Yeah, and that's a 836 for a number 2 receiver. I mean, it's not, Higgins good, for the Bengals or some other number 2. Like I think, like I was debating between Jacoby Myers and Gabe Davis for this 15 spot because I knew I was going to put Judy in there, but it was kind of a coin flip between Jacoby Myers, who
yeah,
I think I was just waiting to see if Jimmy's going to stay healthy. If Jimmy stays healthy, that Raiders offense is going to boom this year. With Josh Jacobs coming back and obviously with Adams and Jacoby Myers. So, but yeah, it was a debate there. And then obviously Jerry Judy, he had over 900 yards, and Sutton's. I don't know if they're going to trade one of the two or if Sutton's going to be healthy next year. I know he's had some injury concerns, but Judy's got the potential to be a number 1 guy. I don't know if the jury's still out. Jury of Judy.
yeah. There we
Uh,
go. The jury of
yeah,
Judy. I think
Jury
that's
of
gonna be
Judy.
his.
It'll be the next segment of my
Yep.
of our show. Uh, Jerry Judy. I think what he did last year and what he's got the potential to do with Sean Payton coming in, and, Hoss kind of fixes some of his mechanics, and kind of gets back on track this year. Judy could go even higher. I mean, Judy could be near the top 10. Towards
I
the end of
could.
2023. So
Yeah, I could probably see that too. I mean, Judy had almost 1,000 yards last year with even though how bad,
Denver's
even though how
offense
bad
was.
Denver was. Yeah, Judy had, he had 972 yards. So I just think I think Judy's a little bit more than Sutton right now, and I know they were both. I'd seen stuff out there that they wanted to trade maybe both of these guys off, and they don't, and they still do. It's kind of a, I don't know, wish wash, if that's actually, watch, just wait, this is gonna be the crazy thing, watch, something happens during the draft, one of these guys gets traded.
I I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be because I don't think you need both of them. I think they both do the same thing. It's like having, in the NBA, if you have like 2 big guys, 2 big 6'11" centers, it's like they do the same thing.
Yep.
Blocks, rebound. It's like they kind of clog up the lane. It's kind of the same thing here. I think Judy and Sutton, you don't need both. And I'd trade Cortland Sutton. I would. I think Judy could work better with this Sean Payton regime,
I think
with the
they I
offense
think
that's coming in.
Yep, I think the Broncos they need a taller guy, they need a guy that kinda spreads the field a little bit, I just think they don't have something like that,
So, but
it's.
yeah, like Peyton's always had that. He had Marcus Colston back in the day with the Saints and
Yep, Michael Thomas.
Thomas. Yep.
And then he had Cooks up in there. I mean, he's had a variety of different guys up in there. So I mean, I just think he's gonna probably try to get a taller guy that can kind of spread the field, that can go up and jump up and catch the ball if all needed to be. So I mean, and they don't have that down there at all. But that's just that's what I see. I think maybe if you think about what happened last year with AJ Brown getting traded to the Eagles, which was just huge. It's just like holy crap, dude. So I mean, I don't know. I bet you there's gonna be something, during the draft that happens. So that wouldn't be out of the picture.
Yeah, no, if I were to guess, I would say it's, something with Denver and possibly like of the teams that are up here on this 11 to 16, the Chargers. Maybe finally they move off of Keenan Allen. Like, hey, dude, you're getting old. You're not on the field. You're not. We can't trust your productivity anymore. Because I mean, Keenan Allen was a machine for years. You could you
Yeah.
could bookmark, over 1,000 yards, almost 100 catches. I mean, he was just an animal, and like with DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, all
Oh,
these guys are about the same age. They're starting to get long in the tooth, and
yep,
it might be time to move on from all of them.
yep, it
I
is.
didn't like that DeAndre contract. When we do the NFC next week, I might say the same thing about Mike Evans. Mike Evans might, as crazy as it sounds, he might not even crack the top 16.
Yeah,
At this
that's
stage of his career. So
yeah, that's for damn sure. Well, I suppose I'll do my little ending here too. So I got
here we
at
go.
16, I got I got Juju at 16. So and I got
Ooh,
Jacoby Myers at 15. I got Pickens at 14. I got Mike Williams at 13, and I got Deontay Johnson at 12. So you're probably like, what the hell? So I mean, Juju's gonna be the number one guy up there. With when I was doing all this, I'm like, Juju's gonna get most of the targets. So I mean, these are I did some more rankings too, but as far as these top 16 guys, Juju's gonna be in that mix. He'll probably I bet you this year he'll probably see 1,000 some odd yards. As long as what they signed him to. I think it was 2 years or 3 years, one of those two. Oh yeah, it was 3 years because they actually swap. That's what Jacoby Myers got. Um, I think with Myers and those guys swapping, I think Myers is going to be a nice number two guy down there with the
yeah,
Raiders.
agreed.
I think he will probably match or even do a little bit better than Juju with Jimmy G, and these two guys were in the same Patriots off, pretty much schemes and stuff like that. So they know what's going on down there. So at 14, I got Pickens. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I wanted to bump up Pickens a little bit more. I just seen there was probably a little bit more value at the top, but I think Pickens might jump up the board a little bit this season. Williams, I like the fact that Williams is he'll probably be their number one guy there. Keenan Allen, yeah, he might have been their number one guy. Keenan Allen's getting a little old, so I like Mike Williams a little bit better because Williams did outproduce Keenan Allen, and I think Keenan was actually kind of hurt most of the season. And
Just a little bit. Just a little
yep.
bit.
Yep, and, Deontay Johnson, he's their number 1 guy there still up with, I think with, Steelers kinda grasping what they did last year, I think they got their guy, I think they got, Pickett. I think so. I think he's gonna be their main guy. So I think the Johnson's gonna maybe see a couple touchdowns this year. He didn't have no touchdowns last year. I mean, Pickens was the guy there. Even though he's their number two, Deontay is gonna be their number one guy. So they're still. So it's kind of hard because I wanted to put Pickens up there, but then it's kind of like, nope, I can't do that because Deontay is still there. If Deontay was gone, I probably would have jumped him up. But that's just my perspective.
He just doesn't score any touchdowns.
No,
It's the
he didn't.
same. It's the same problem I have with DJ. No, Deontay. I mean, damn
Yeah,
good receiver, but the same problem I have with DJ Moore. It's like you want these guys out there if you're trying to win games, for blocking purposes and catching big ball, like that kind of stuff. But fantasy wise, like, and that could change with DJ in Chicago, but with Deontay, I just don't moving forward. I just don't see him as any kind of fantasy asset. I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's like I said, it's not egregious to put him in the top 16. Because he does catch a lot of balls, but he
yeah,
gets targets too. And you could argue he's still the number one guy in Pittsburgh, but he just doesn't catch any touchdowns. Now that would be my only, because we have a similar, Jacoby Myers. Like I said, I have no issue. Pickens there, Mike Williams, Schuster. The only
yeah.
issue I would have would be Deontay because he just doesn't score any touchdowns.
Chatty,
Like,
he's a I want to know who you would if he's too high, who would you pick over Mike Williams, Chad? Because
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
curious. He wants to I mean I know everybody's got their own opinions. I mean everybody's can have their own opinions, but this is what I see, what Eli sees, and Chad, I want to hear who would you take over Mike Williams? I mean Donovan, I actually had Mike Williams a couple times. It's just you would take
You know,
everyone, so you would take a third guy over Mike Williams? Would you take, Carter over Williams? You say everyone, you know what I mean? Come on now. That doesn't it's not saying much.
Who the hell am I thinking of? Help me. Paul
What?
Allen is expendable.
Who is?
I think Keenan
Who?
Allen's expendable because
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Any other pros? Uh, Claypool. Well, I know. I think those two guys are in kind of in the same boat. Claypool, Mike Williams. I think Claypool might have a little bit better opportunities than Mike Williams. I just think both of those guys are they're kind of in the same boat a little bit. That's what I think, anyways. But honestly, Chad, I just think that the Chargers' offense is actually going to get way better. But with them actually getting I can't think of it now, the Dallas's coordinator, I think I think it's going to be a little bit different, just because the fact that he's coming in and he's going to be doing. I think they're going to be doing a lot of similarities what they did in Dallas. So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of passing, a little bit running. I think there's going to be a high scoring offense. So Mike Williams, I think, is going to get a little bit more of those targets. Maybe Carter in the mix, but yeah, yeah, he might. Honestly, he might be a bum, but still, I mean, they're going to have to toss. They're going to have to toss the ball somewhere. So I mean, yeah, he might be a bum, but I mean, honestly, I would actually I would take Williams over Claypool. Just the fact that Claypool came in, didn't come in and do anything. I just like the fact that Chargers might be looking a little bit different this year.
yeah, no, before I was cut off again by imaginary forces. I think Chad is doing some like Jedi mind tricks to my computer here. Uh, uh, no, Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer is in that Keenan Allen's expendable. So I was just going to say before I go that Palmer could jump up in there. Palmer might end up being the number one guy. Chad might not be crazy with that. I mean, he might jump Mike Williams. I like what I saw from Palmer last year, and him and Herbert seem to have a rapport. So obviously Eckler is still the main focus of that offense, and I like Gerald Everett too. But yeah, the Chargers looking good, looking good. Yeah,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
throwing my flow off tonight. Keep getting kicked out of here when I got good points.
Yeah, right.
What? God.
But
All right, you ready to move on to the next set of
yep,
guys, Jay?
yep.
All right.
Let's do her.
All right. All right. All right. We got 6 to 10. Amari Cooper. I mean, his demise was greatly exaggerated. I wasn't sure what he had left in the tank after Dallas got rid of him. Obviously, he had his productive years with the Cowboys and the Raiders, but I liked what I saw last year, especially when Watson started to get into the flow of the offense, in that Commanders game and down the stretch. I think with a full off season together, I think Cooper could put up another 1,000+ yard season. Who else is going to take targets away from him? That's my thing. Cleveland doesn't have a lot to work with.
Well,
I mean, the running game, obviously. Um,
yeah, I mean, they have Donovan Peoples Jones as well
yeah,
too. I
Peoples
mean,
Jones. Yeah, you get my point though. He's not a world. I mean, he's probably on a good team. He's probably a number 3.
well, I mean,
On a bad team,
yeah,
maybe a two on a Texan, kind of team. But Cooper, yeah, I think he's still. Let me get this right here. Let me get the old handy dandy notebook here. Yeah, he I don't even need that. Yeah, he had over 1,000 yards. I think he could have. I think with a full season of Deshaun Watson, I think he could have. I'm going to put it down here: 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Mari Cooper is going to have a damn good season. Jalen Waddle, obviously, him and Tyreek just blew up. You got to have him somewhere in the top 10. I don't think they're going to put up that kind of production again. I mean, that was a all-time season to have two guys, 1,500 yards. I mean that may never happen again. So can't count on that kind of production. So as much as I want to kind of keep him away from the top 5. Michael Pittman Jr. Think he's going to have a bounce back year. He was fifth in the AFC in I think targets last year. I got a full
Well,
encyclopedia here. Let me see here. Yes. Yes. He was fourth in catches, fifth in targets. Uh, he had, but he only had 925 yards and 4 touchdowns. And you might maybe blame that on Matt Ryan. Maybe blame it on Sam Ellinger or Nick the other garbage they had at quarterback last year. Hopefully they take Levis or Richardson. One of the rooks. So the Colts can kind of add to the future. But yeah, Pittman Jr. He's still I think he's still a top 10 AFC receiver. Two
I
years
would,
ago, 2 years ago, he was about to break out.
yeah,
When
most
when
definitely.
Wentz was there, we thought he'd be like the next superstar receiver or one of them.
Well, yeah,
You know,
most definitely. I mean, the way he was playing and whatnot. Yeah, most definitely. I know I was high on him a little as well, and I was gonna draft him. I think I did take him as one of my number one guys. I think maybe the year before or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but I know I did draft Pittman, and the fact is now they have Minshew throwing the ball for right now.
Gardner Minshew, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
he'll be ousted when they're 1-4. He'll be ousted.
Yeah.
Be a Trubisky situation.
There we
Just
go.
plug him in there
Let's
till
let's
till Rich,
let's
till
get
Richardson can play.
let's get Trubisky down with with the
Colts, yeah,
Colts.
there we go.
Let's get him down there because Trubisky at least will get the ball somewhere. Come on now.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Minshew, he throws a lot of yards, but they're kind of junk yards. He's a backup. He'll always be a backup. T. Higgins, enough said. 1,000 yards. And just I think all three Bengals receivers are good options in some different. Obviously, that Higgins and Chase a lot more than Boyd, but you can't go wrong with any of the three. But yeah, Boyd would probably be in my top 20. I'd probably put Boyd maybe 19. Like if I was to do like expand this list a little bit, I'd probably put 19 or 20. But yeah, Higgins is definitely number 9, and Christian Kirk. Until I see, because it's been a couple years, until I see Calvin Ridley back to the level he was at, I'm going to assume that Christian Kirk is the number 1 target in Jacksonville. Along, well, you could argue, Ingram, the tight end, but receiver wise, he's probably still the number 1 receiver. And
yeah.
we'll see we'll see what Ridley does, because if Calvin Ridley is locked in, knows the offense, is healthy, all that good jazz, he'll be the number 1 guy. I mean, Calvin Ridley's got number 1 talent. He's got like top 5 talent, like top 5 receiver talent in the whole league. I mean, this guy's he's the bee's knees. So we'll
Oh
see
yeah, damn right he is.
what he can do. But yeah, Christian Kirk, I have at 10. He was I think about 6th or 7th in most of the statistical categories for AFC receivers last year. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's solidly in the top 10. Jay might have him a little higher, but yeah, him at 10.
Yep.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be an interesting 6 through 11. So here we go. Yep. So I got Kirk at 6.
Yep,
So
that's
I
what I
I just
figured.
yeah. So it was kind of hard because I wanted kind of I was kind of debating between Ridley and Kirk, and for right now, Kirk's got
Just
that
play it
rapport.
safe. Yep.
Yeah, Kirk has got that rapport with Lawrence right now, so I just think overall, he'll work in that offense. Once Ridley kind of gets in the flow, that might change a little bit, but for right now, I got Kirk at 6. I got Garrett Wilson at 7. I just my top 5 is gonna be a little bit different. I just like the fact that Wilson, whoever they get as hopefully it's Rodgers, Wilson will return to having that, maybe that 1,100. Maybe he'll have some more touchdowns this year. So he's their go-getter. I don't think Corey Davis is gonna be a factor much. Um, I got Lazard. He's down in my rankings a little bit farther. But I like the fact that Wilson came out and actually had a good season for a rookie. It's nuts. It's just crazy. So, and he was along with Drake and Olave. So I mean, those were the main 3 guys up in there. So then I got Higgins at 8. I like. And what the crazy part is, I actually had Chase and Higgins in our keepers league, which is crazy. But I like
Ah,
Higgins. Yeah, I think Higgins
hate
is a
to play
good.
you.
Yep. Yeah, I know, right? It was crazy, but I like Higgins in this situation. He's got some great talent. I mean, if you know if Chase does go down, Higgins has got that number one, 1B wide receiver to him, so he can put up numbers. He can get you touchdowns. So he had 1,000. Both of these guys had 1,000 yards receiving. Boyd was pretty close to 1,000 yards. So I mean, you can just see what they were actually doing. So I like Higgins in this situation. Cooper, I mean, I got him at number 9. He had a good 1,000 yards season. I just couldn't see him up that high because I just see more better talent overall. I mean, Cooper is kind of get older, and I think he's 27 now and some, but I'm hoping he can repeat what he did. Because everybody's with Dallas letting him go, it's just insane. But I don't know Cooper, and then they got Donovan People Jones on the other side, so I think that's a good. I think him being at number 9 is a good place for him. And then I got Judy at number 10. I just like I just think Judy is a little bit better than Sutton. Sutton's down my list a little bit farther. I think Judy is their number 1 guy there. And Pittman, it was kind of hard between Judy and Pittman because these two guys are kind of on the same level a little bit. I mean, Judy hasn't had his really breakout season yet. I think that's maybe due this season. So that's what I think, anyways. And Pittman, I think he rebounds a little bit better than what he did have this season. I'm thinking they can get a good running or a good quarterback that he'll end up having a good 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely a bounce back season for Pittman. Judy, see if he can kind of take that next step with Sean Payton. Amari
Yeah,
Cooper, whatever he has left in the tank. I don't think that this is the. I think 2024 would be the year that Cooper falls off a cliff.
yeah,
Kind of like Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, those guys. So I think 2015 is when Cooper was drafted. So usually a 9-10 year mark, these guys start to decline. Higgins, yeah, I agree. Definitely be
yeah,
8-9. Garrett Wilson, I'll have him a little bit higher, but yeah, I could see him at 7. He's still somewhat unproven.
yeah,
And Christian Kirk, I don't know what Ridley's going to take. That'll be the only difference, really, is because, and that's all based on I don't know what Ridley's going to take away from him. I know what
yeah,
we've had a whole season with Evan Ingram and Etienne and some of the other guys in the offense, Zay Jones, and so I'm not. I knew what they were taking away from Kirk. I just don't know what Calvin Ridley coming in is going to take away from Kirk, and see if he can put up, the same kind of season in 2023. So, but yeah, it's a good list.
yeah.
You want to get to the top 5?
Yes, sir. Let's do her. Because Chad's gonna be
Do it.
like, oh, Chad's gonna be all like, oh, I don't like this.
It's your fault for not being on tonight, Chad. Appreciate you in the comments, but if you were on camera with us, instead of casting spells and making my stream go away, I've cut out like 5 times and whatever. But the money shot, the money time is right now, and these are the top 5 AFC receivers. It's time. It's time. Chase, I think you'll have him a little bit lower, but he was hurt towards the end of last season and came back in the playoffs and was back to his normal self again. But uh, um, I think with a full
No, not
season,
my
he's right
fault.
up there. He's right up there with Jefferson. He's right up there with AJ. Oh fuck, I forgot about Chase. Yeah, of course you did. Forgot about you forgot
uh,
about Dre and he about Chase too. Uh,
yep,
yeah, I think a full season, like this is based on a full season. I mean, because if Devontae had missed 4 or 5 games, his numbers would be down too. Same with Tyreek, same with Diggs and these guys. So I think with a full season, Chase is the number 1 guy in the AFC. Devontae Adams, year after year, the productivity. Oh my god, 100 catches, over 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. That's like the triple crown in baseball. And he had this is another statistic I've been paying attention to more. He had 24 catches of 20 or more yards. So he's still that big play guy, even at 30 years old. He's still that big play threat. Devontae hasn't he hasn't skipped a beat, since leaving Green Bay. So this gonna be scary to see what him and Jacoby Myers can do with Jimmy if he's healthy. Tyreek, didn't another guy didn't fall. And we mean, if Tua gets a new contract, if Tua gets
No. Yep, and he froze again. Oh, I think it happened. I think Eli's having some issues with his computer. Oh, yeah, I guess we'll have to hopefully he bounces back here real quick. But, yeah, overall yeah, maybe you might have to, it's, I don't know, it's hard saying. I think he'll probably have to come back here and see what I think Eli needs a new computer, everybody, 'cause, he, has been having some computer issues, kinda been in and out a little bit. Eric, it's nice to see that you're here. A little cold. Yeah, a little chilly. We've probably got over 2 inches, 3 inches of snow now, I think. I don't know. I haven't been outside yet today. I just know my vehicle is actually, covered in snow, so it wasn't there when I went to bed, but, yeah. Um, Other than that, yeah, Chad, if you actually wanna jump on real quick, we can, I'll send you a link right now. So let's see if Chad wants to jump on with us here real quick, and we'll kind of go from there. Maybe Eli will come back, but yeah, yeah. Come save the show, Chad, because yeah, it's never pleasant when you're just a solo guy in return. Yeah, Donovan. Yeah, I think you should have traded some Don Julio for a new computer. Yeah, that'd be great. uh
Enough of it,
Chad.
Donovan.
Yes. Well, Chad, thank you for joining us for the momentarily until Eli decides to come on back, because yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end there, pretty close, to the end of the show. So uh, I know you had some very well disagreements with. I mean, I know everybody's got their own opinions when it comes to this stuff, but I know your rankings were probably a little bit different than what Eli and I would see as well.
Well, one of Eli's is right around where I'd put him, and that's Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
I'm torn between putting him 4 and putting him 6 because
yeah,
we don't know the quarterback,
yeah, and that's the thing about it too.
and we don't know the rapport he'll have if it's Rodgers because of how finicky Rodgers. He could have like 6 weeks of bad games and then get into his good graces and be a monster down the stretch, and he might fall short of the top 5, but be
Yeah, and
like
then, and
the number one guy for weeks and weeks and weeks at the end of the season,
yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean,
like what
with
Watson did
yeah, and yeah,
at the end
when
of the season.
Watson came in, he wasn't. You really have that good rapport with him, and then it was more toward the end of the season that Watson was having that rapport with Rodgers, and he had those 9 touchdowns. So yeah, so next
I have
week,
Diggs outside the top 5.
yeah.
I love the Bills' offense. Diggs is just he's good, but he's getting up there in age.
He is. I mean, I think there's still value with Diggs yet. I mean, he's
Yeah,
gonna be,
he's the
Josh's go
safe
guy.
guy.
Yeah,
I'm a little lower on Devontae Adams, not by a lot because he's a monster.
yeah.
But now he does
Oh, good. I think we're having all kinds of issues tonight. Eli, are
I'm
you
back.
there? Yep, I think Chad was having
Yeah,
little issues there. He was
you there?
kind of cutting in and out.
It would've been
We're having a bad stream
jumping
tonight for
Jesus
some
Christ.
odd reason.
Yeah,
Chad, you
yeah,
still there?
it's a definition of a shit show right here.
It is.
You
Yep.
blacked out?
Yep. He'll probably be
Uh,
back.
yeah, we'll just we'll feed Lazard shit targets all year. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I was gonna get into I don't know what Jay was talking about. I was dead for about 5 minutes. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
uh,
Next man up. Yep.
Tyreek, Tyreek, yeah, next man up. Yeah, no kidding. Tyreek had over 1,700 yards, 7 touchdowns. You know,
Yeah.
Tyreek, until proven otherwise, he's gonna stay in the top 5 until he has a down season or gets hurt. Tyreek's always gonna be in the top 5. You know, not just AFC, but overall in general. Garrett Wilson, I got him higher than Jay. I'm higher on this kid. Oh, going on, play ya.
Yes. Hopefully he's back. I think this time.
Shannon got another. He probably froze up again. But no, yeah, Garrett Wilson. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think with AR-12 under center, I think this kid can put up 14, maybe 1,500 yards this coming year. I think he's gonna definitely be a top 10 overall receiver. Maybe
Yeah.
even crack the top 5, 6. And then Diggs, obviously Diggs has been putting up this level of production for so long, and him and Davis are a nice 1-2 combo. He had like over 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns last year. He can repeat that. I mean, I don't see
Yeah.
any reason that he wouldn't, except for age. I know he'll be 31 this year, so but so is Devontae. So I think Diggs has got another year or two left of this level of production. So I got him at 5.
Yep. And just
Jamie out here breaking everyone's internet tonight.
yeah. So everybody,
Yeah,
we're
he is.
sorry.
Yeah, he is. I put a spell on you.
Yep. So
And
everybody,
now you're mine.
so everybody, we're sorry if we're having a little technical difficulties right now. But we're almost to the end of the show here, and
Okay.
maybe it
We'll
is
survive.
maybe it is all this damn weather. I mean, it's hard saying. Eli freezing, Chad coming in for a moment, and Donovan's all like next man up, and Eli comes in. So it's been quite a hilarious show up in here a little bit. So it's
my router connection just shut off for some reason, so I switched over to the other connection for it.
Yeah.
We're on life support.
Right? I think I will be needed some life support up here with all this goddamn snow we getting up here. God damn, dude.
Should we get to Jamie's top 5 or my top 5?
Well, let's get to my top 5, and then
you know what? Jamie's Jamie's got to get his top 5, but I want to see Chad's too.
I mean, well, we can hear his top 5. Let's hear Chad's top 5.
Yeah, that's it.
So number 1, I mean, I forgot about him, but it's got to be Jamar Chase. The dude is a freak of nature. They could throw 10 passes a game and he'll probably have 100 yards and 3 TDs.
Yes.
Number 2 is Michael Pittman Jr.
All right, you're banned from the show.
Now I know you're trolling me, Chad. No.
You talked earlier about
you are banned from
about the target. You talked earlier about the target share that he had last year, which was meteoric of nature. They got rid of Zach Pascal, so there's even more targets. Minshew looked more than capable in relief of Hurts. They're now talking about going after Lamar Jackson, which would be even more insane.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Jackson's staying. He's staying with Baltimore. That's just what's going to happen.
I don't, especially with the reports that he's telling teams he doesn't even want guaranteed money. He's leaving Baltimore.
It's hard saying because right now it's hard because the Baltimore wants 2 first-round picks for Jackson, and maybe if it was just a 1, I could see that. They can if but
That
2
price will go down by draft day. Trust me. It
yeah,
always
and
does.
but yeah, what they want now, there's gonna be no teams jumping up for that. There's no way there's teams gonna be giving up 2 first-round picks.
But also, a team currently could just offer him a contract that Baltimore won't sign, and then they get him for free.
But
They
right
don't have
now,
to necessarily trade for him.
yeah,
But
they don't
anyways,
have to.
even if it's just Minshew all year, with Anthony Richardson learning behind Minshew. Minshew was throwing for 300 and 400 yards in Philly, and before that, he's always been a prolific passer, more than
Like
Matt Ryan.
yeah, fantasy wise, yeah. I don't think there's going to be a drop off. And I've said that before. Like, I know Minshew's going to put up his 250, 300 yards. He did in Philly. He did in Jacksonville. The man, he's going to put up his 2 touchdowns, but he's also going to. But like in the big scheme
He'll
of things,
throw three. He'll throw three
he'll throw 3 or
interceptions
4
probably.
picks. He'll throw 3 or 4 picks, and they'll bench him.
But
So
all of those
that's
yards
not
will now
sustainable.
But all of those yards will go to Pittman because there's no one else there.
But they're gonna start the rookie quarterback off slow. They're not gonna throw Anthony Richardson in there and he's putting up 300, Mahomes kind of games. I mean, Minshew could put up. So I actually think he has more value at the beginning of the season than he's gonna have towards the end of the season. So Pittman would pop early as compared to some of these other guys who might, like Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson's going to start bad and get good. I don't know if you heard when you were disconnected, we were talking about it. It could look a lot like Christian Watson looked like, where he just couldn't get on the same
exactly
page
what I'm thinking.
Where he couldn't get on the same page with Rodgers. Rodgers hated him, and then it just finally clicked. But I think
it's like you and Jamie. It's like you and
Jamie.
Jamie.
That kind of puts. I think that puts Wilson more around the 5-6 range because he's just going to be so bad at the start. Pittman, even when they put Richardson in there, he's not going to have the 200-yard games that he's capable of. But he's still going to have 10 catches and a touchdown on average. So you take a PPR, which I assume that's way we're ranking these.
Yep. It's all just so everybody knows that
that's
all based on
that's
PPR.
minimum 7. That's minimum 17 points right there. 10 catches and a touchdown. Even with a rookie, there's just no one there. They're not going to run Jonathan Taylor into the ground because they can't. His body won't hold up.
They had Alex Pierce as well as a rookie last year, and he came in and filled in good as a number 2 guy.
Alec Pierce is solid, but yeah, no, I get Chad. I get your point. I would see them drafting somebody. There's not really anybody to sign anymore. I mean, Cooks is off the market, and some of these other, mid-level veterans. So I could see them taking a receiver, maybe in the second. Maybe they take that Johnston kid in the second round, the kid from TCU that people are like boom or bust with him, if he's still on the table. But yeah, no, I get your reasoning. That's just way too like some of these guys. You can't put him above Devontae. You can't put him above Tyreek Hill. I mean, you could argue for Pittman.
I don't even have Tyreek Hill in my top 5. We'll get to that. I have Devontae. I have Devontae Adams at 3, and I'm a little hesitant to put Adams there because I just don't think Garoppolo's gonna give him the volume he needs to be elite. He's still gonna be in wide receiver 1, a very good one, but I think it could look more like Debo's numbers than Devontae numbers of pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Devontae.
I think we broke.
You don't go from over 1,700 yards to be in like mid pack.
You do when Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt in week 3.
I mean, it'll be like a slow decline or something. With Devontae.
Yeah, because
Devontae Adams would put up 1,300 yards. I mean,
Garoppolo gets hurt in week 3, then what?
Well,
they don't have what's his name? They
don't even have Jared Stidham anymore.
Go sign Nick Foles. Go sign Nick
Yeah.
Foles. I mean, this guy
Yeah.
that was the biggest indictment on Derek Carr last year. Is like you got Devontae Adams. You should make the playoffs. I don't care. I mean, this guy is like all world. I mean, he made the back end of Aaron Rodgers' career, like the last probably 5-6 years of Aaron Rodgers. A lot of that, a couple MVPs, a lot of that was all from Devontae Adams. So Devontae's just I can never, I will never, can never, won't have it, can't have it. Will never put Michael Pittman Jr. above Devontae Adams until Devontae Adams is 6 feet in the grave. Okay, that's just not until he fills out his retirement paperwork with the NFL. It will never ever happen. Chad,
there's a theme with my
Chad.
You're there's a theme with these rankings though, because you've already heard me talk about Diggs and pushing him down a little bit because I think his numbers will taper off just a tad bit because of age. The same thing will happen with Adams, not just because of it. There's going to be some taper. It may not be a lot of tapering, but there's going to be a little bit. Just it's natural with Adams, and then the quarterback change, I think, tapers it a little bit more too to push him down. And the same thing with Tyreek Hill, which is why my number 4 is Christian Kirk.
Okay, now that I'm not like, see, I had a heart attack with Michael Pittman. I'm surprised I'm still alive. But Christian, okay, explain Christian Kirk. I'm not totally opposed to Christian Kirk, and I'll let you move on to your 4 and 5
here. Him and Lawrence just have such a chemistry. It's so much like the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow chemistry. And I think Calvin Ridley, he's not going to eat into him. He's going to enhance him. There's going to be less double and triple teaming. It's good. They're going to turn that offense into Cincinnati South.
I never thought that Calvin Ridley would. I never thought Calvin Ridley would be compared to a male enhancement pill.
Christian Kirk will play the Jamar Chase role. Ridley will play the T. Higgins role. I can't think of who the third guy is. I guess Evan Ingram played the Tyler
Zay
Boyd
Jones.
role.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones.
Yep.
Played Tyler, and then Evan Ingram's just a better Hayden Hurst, a lot better.
Yeah, it's.
And Etienne and Mixon are pretty similar too.
Yeah, I just think maybe once the season gets going, I think Ridley will probably be their one, and Kirk end up being down their number 2 guy. I think the roles are gonna flip flop. Once the season kind of gets going.
Rapport and chemistry and experience working with guys goes far, especially with young quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, any rookie coming in, I mean, with the Texans, for example, real quick, whatever QB they're going to get, they have that Schultz for a comfort wide receiver. So if they need somebody to dump off quick, Schultz is there. So I mean, yeah, there's going to be those certain things to certain.
And there's also some risk in Calvin. It's not to the same extent, but you look at Josh Gordon when he first came back. He was really hot, really quick, and his body just wasn't quite. He didn't have the same first step.
No,
the first time back, he still put up like 1,000 yards. He put up like 1,100 yards and a bunch of TDs, but he just wasn't quite ready. The second year he was a little better, and then he got suspended again. That part won't happen with Ridley, but with so much time off, not due to injury, the body adjusted. We don't know what his training regimen was in the year off, so I don't think they're going to force feed him like a number 1, 9-year one.
I think that
they'll need to.
I think that was a bad comparison because Josh Gordon was off and on the field because of substance, and which is why he wasn't on the field. Bad comparison. Ridley I think is in a better situation.
I mean, they were both suspended indefinitely, and they missed a season. As a
gambling
result.
And weed is a way totally different thing. With
right, but the end result is they didn't play football for a year and came back, and their bodies played. Like the weed didn't affect Gordon's ability to play. In fact, it might have enhanced his ability to play.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that overall really probably kept himself in somewhat of a football shape if he was going to be returning. And most of these guys do. Josh Gordon was doing the same thing too, even though he was, got, suspended however many times, he still kept himself in shape. So it might take some time for Ridley to get back into football ready shape, getting hit and whatnot, so that part, yeah, the whole, him mentally part that's going to be the whole key right there. Getting smacked around a little bit. Yeah, he hasn't had that for a while.
And to round out my top 5, and the reason Tyreek Hill falls down this list, not a lot, mind you, is I have Jalen Waddle at number 5. To go with the theme of knocking down Diggs a little bit, knocking down Adams a little bit, especially when it comes to a speed guy like Tyreek Hill, with him getting a year older, I'm going to knock him down a little bit. And I think Waddle ends up being the feature. You're right, they can't have the two 1,500-yard guys.
No.
But they're going to have like a 13. They might have a 1,300 and 1,100 guy.
Yeah,
but the 1,300 guy is going to be the 1,300 guy is going to be Waddle, not Hill.
I thought Tyreek would take a not off the cliff, but I thought he'd come back to the pack this year. I thought Mahomes. Honestly, I thought Mahomes had more to do with him than anything. I was like, okay, this guy's a product of Andy Reid's system and working with Patrick Mahomes all these years. I was wrong. I mean, same thing with Devontae Adams. I mean, these are self-made guys. These are animals. These are Hall of Fame level guys. And until proven otherwise, until proven otherwise, Chad, Tyreek is not going to fall off. That he might go from 17 to 1,300 yards, like you said. Dude, there's no way that he drops back to like 1,000 yards, 950. 2 years from now, 2024, we can have that discussion. Absolutely.
No, it's not
because
like
he's a speed guy. He loses a step.
Let me be clear. Yeah. I moved Tyreek. You have him at 3. I have him somewhere in the 6 to 7 range. So it's not like a huge fall.
No, it's not. It's not egregious.
I just flipped Waddle.
Pittman Jr. is egregious.
I mean, with Tyreek Hill, I mean, he had, when he was in KC, I mean, his yards per catch were 15, 14, 11. And when he goes to Miami, he had a 14 yard average. So I mean, each time he caught the ball, he was running. He was 14 yards up the field.
There is a caveat on the Dolphins wide receivers. I think if everything goes right, Waddle is the 1A and Hill is the 1B this year. But they both could fall off like a massive. They could be unrosterable this year.
I wouldn't say unrosterable.
If the Tua situation gets worse,
I'm sorry, but
I am in a time warp tonight. This is. I feel like I'm a little kid watching the Twilight Zone.
Do you really trust?
What?
Do you really trust Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill with Mike White as their quarterback?
Yes, Mike White. I trust them with anybody.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
I trust him with me at quarterback, with Donovan at quarterback, with you at quarter. Anybody, they will put up 1,000 yards with any. Because Tua. Here's a little fun fact: Tua ain't that. Okay, Tua ain't that good, and they are gonna sing. If this kid gets 40 million, 35 million a year, it's because of these two guys. These two guys are gonna get this guy paid for the rest of his life.
That's
agree. How good these two are.
Waddle is the one more at risk if Tua goes down because the report is there with Tua that wasn't there with Jacoby and it wasn't there with when Skylar Thompson had his one start.
They do this with Skylar Thompson too. I'm convinced.
Tyreek, that's in that scenario, I would flip Tyreek and Waddle back, but I'd still have Tyreek around 7. I'd have Waddle at like 12 or 15. Right. If Mike White's the quarterback for the majority of the season.
Yep. From what I see, Tyreek Hill, his yards went up when he went to Miami, just because that offense in KC was more far spread of passing the ball to this guy or this guy or this guy. So, I mean, they weren't tossing it to one guy directly, which is why both Waddle and Hill ended up being, in the roles that they were in. That's why they end up being these high end guys. So his yards per catch went up than he was with KC. I mean, there was one year where he had um 12 and 15 touchdowns with KC. His his touchdowns in Miami went down, but his yards went up.
I agree with.
No,
I
and,
I
and
don't
J-
I don't think he needs a quarterback to be the number one. He needs a quarterback when Tyreek Hill is on the other side of the field with him.
But here's the thing, though. It's a lot of this is Mike McDaniel, the head coach. I mean, Deebo Samuel.
Agreed.
I mean, you could say, well, injuries too, but Deebo took a definite step back from 20. He had his 2 big years, 2020, 2021. Took a definite step back without Mike McDaniel as his offensive coordinator last year. Mike McDaniel, I trust him too. I trust these two guys.
And that's kind of where I was like, I'm not so sure that Tyreek isn't a system guy.
He might be, but but like Tom Brady, he might be the greatest system guy ever. You know,
he's just got two really phenomenal. Absolutely.
Well, if you think, with Waddle not even having Tariq Hill, he had 1,000-yard seasons without Hill even being there already. I mean, he had it
in 2021 with Tua. I mean, Waddle's a made man, and so I get of the two, I get where you're coming from, Chad, where you're like, okay, Waddle's gonna be fine no matter what. Like Tyreek's a little bit older, and so. And we're all waiting for that decline. We're all waiting for that 1 year where Tyreek is hurt half the year. He loses that step. He loses that speed.
I don't think we ever had that.
He moves it. He loses that elusiveness. Like, okay, this guy can't keep this up when he's 35. Obviously, if he's still in the league, but just for the time being, I can't.
There is another factor to the Dolphins situation. We don't have Mike Gesicki anymore. Not that Mike Gesicki was a bit of a bum, let's be real, but they don't have a tight end right now. So we'll have to wait and see whether they address that during the draft.
He's pretty solid.
Well, even though
they also are now going to have a full season with the 49ers running back system.
Which is good because, what they were doing there.
Jeff Wilson and Mostert.
With what they were doing there, it worked. I mean, the little 1-2 punch.
Well, if I remember correctly, the wide receiver numbers, although part of that was because of Tua's concussion, but the wide receiver numbers tapered off after they got the running backs going down the stretch. Not huge number difference, but they went from like wide receiver 1 and 2 on the week to like 3 and 4 on the week. So how that plays out over a full season, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it wasn't really noticeable. Like noticeable to us is like 400 or 500 yards, a season. Or, hey, this guy, he had 20 plus catches, 20-yard catches, and next year it's like 15. Like it's got to be substantial more than like, okay, well, the two running backs, Wilson and Mostert. Towards the end of the year, we're getting more touches and the running. I mean, that's what all teams do. They get the running game ramped up for the playoffs. So I think Miami was probably just doing that, like getting the running game ramped up because they weren't going to be able to throw the ball all around Buffalo or
there's a chance
these cold weather.
There's a chance they're doing that. There's a chance they're doing that to protect Tua, though.
Well, they should.
They lean more balanced. I agree, they should. But if they lean balanced or run heavy. Even if it's a difference of 150, 200 yards total for each of them, that's shaved off. Like we said, we're talking from 1,500 to 1,300, 1,100 roughly, maybe 1,200 and 1,000. That's the difference between like 4th and 9th. Like when you're in that top 10, those margins are so narrow.
And how it relates to fantasy is I get it. Those, let's say on average that's 30 yards a week. Well, hey, that's 3 points. Like in PPR, that's 3 points. And a lot of these matchups are close. And so, I can see like you just don't want it to be super noticeable. And if you feel it's going to be noticeable, then you can back up like all of your points and where you have these guys placed at. I've learned to like I've been wrong. I've been wrong about Tyreek Hill. I thought he was going to fall down the last couple of years, and he still hasn't. And a lot of people thought that about Tom Brady, years ago, and or whoever. I keep waiting for Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. Older receivers. I keep waiting, and so, but yeah, I can't do it. You can do it, and maybe Jamie will come to that point too. But I can't rationalize not having, like, if you're just in a year-to-year draft, if Tyreek Hill is there, like whatever, beginning of second round, if you're in six like that, you're insane.
I always
you're
him
insane.
anyways.
If he's there at if somehow he fell like 17 or 18, you're nuts if you don't take him.
Right. That's
nuts.
The thing. He never will. Tyreek's always overdrafted.
But that's
my point
is like that's where you have him going in like a year-to-year league and 12, 16 man draft. Where you got him projected at that's where he's going is 18, 19, somewhere in there, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. And that's just what you'd be insane not to take him there. And he'd go, higher than that. So I don't know. I'm thinking over like the big scheme of things. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick regardless. Like
we'll retouch this when we do NFC.
Yeah.
But I still think
absolutely. Yeah.
I still think
look forward to it.
I still think he'd be 11 to 14 still. With zero running back being such a prevalent strategy, there's going to be no running backs in that first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
You're going to have a quarterback, you're going to have Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, and that's it.
But
and then Mahomes in the second round. But it's just going to be wide receiver to wide receiver.
Yeah.
So even at 6 or 7 in the AFC, that's still probably top 10, 11 overall.
Yeah.
So Hill's not going to fall off too much in the drafts.
No, he'll be going to first round no matter what.
Right.
I mean, that's always a given. But I was actually gonna, since you guys were talking about Waddle here,
so we'll get
there was 8 games where he was actually out of the top 30 in wide receiving weekly finishes, but there was games where he actually was in the top 10 because he had 171, 102. He had a 129-yard game, and so he's had at least 5 or 6 100-yard games. So Waddle is not. I mean, Waddle, even this was with Tyreek Hill being there. So I mean, Waddle he can do what he needs to do. I mean, he's a good number 2 guy down there. So I just wanted to point that out there real quick. But yeah, we should.
Quickly, I have 2 sleepers for the top 5. They're in my top 12 right now for the AFC. The one is Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't think it's Amari Cooper in Cleveland. I think it's Donovan Peoples-Jones. I have heard Deshaun Watson loves the kid, and we're going to see a much better Deshaun Watson this year. The other one is it's going to be quarterback dependent. But give me Nico Collins breaking out this year.
No, I don't think it'll be. I'm gonna go John Mitchie there. I don't think it'll be Nico Collins. I think if Mitchie comes back, I think Mitchie would be the guy that
I just have so little tape on Mitchie. Volume. Oh. If we're talking purely in fantasy, volume wins.
Oh yeah, well yeah, you want the guys that are gonna be getting targets. I mean, a lot of these guys, Nico Collins is gonna be.
He's no slouch either. He's probably a good 2 on a lot of teams.
I mean, it's a very well possible depending on your construction. I mean, I think he'd be a good number 3 if it came down to the end.
Yeah, number 3. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, he's a number 3. The Texans, they're abysmal. Let's just be honest. Jay's gonna get his top 5.
Yep.
Donovan. Chad.
Yes. At number 5, I got Waddle, and which I just mentioned was some of his, some of this stuff, stats and stuff like that. I got Chase at 4. I mean, it was just kind of hard to intermix, with Adams and Diggs and Hill. He's slotted behind these guys. Chase, I do love Chase. I actually when he was a rookie, I traded for him right away. So in turns, I was happy I got Chase. I know he's been kind of hurt. He ended up getting hurt a little bit, but he still put up 1,000 some odd yards, even coming back from that aspect. And we already mentioned with Tariq Hill, we already talked about his with him and Waddle in that situation. So I like Hill at 3. I mean, Diggs, he's a target monster. I mean, it's all PPR related stuff. You know, his yards his yards went up, his targets went up when he went with the Bills. So I mean, it's not that um, he's not doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's actually. I was just looking at his stats here real quick too, but I got Adams at 1 too. I got Adams at 1. I just think Adams is the best guy in the AFC side of things. You know, so I with Garoppolo being there, he should be able to handle. Jimmy should be able to toss him the ball if all needed. I just think that Adams will be that guy down there. But I was looking at Diggs here. Even he's had 5. Yep, he had 5,000 yard seasons already, and that was even with Buffalo. I mean, when you came with Buffalo, his first year in Buffalo, he had 1,500. He dipped down to 1,200, but he had 1,400 yards this last season. So it's not like he's not, you know, doing what he needs. It's not like he's I don't know what I was trying to say here for the moment, but
on the decline. That's what you're trying to. He's on the decline. Like it's not like he's on the decline. Like
yeah,
you
I
can
think
tell. Like Mike Evans. Like we would all agree, Mike Evans is on the decline. Like he's
yeah,
not. He's no longer. You know, he's gonna drop 150 yards a year now. Like if not more. You know, just.
yeah.
But Diggs
I just
isn't
I
at
think
that point yet. And I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
I don't think he is yet. I think maybe after this year he might decline a little bit. I think he can still get a 12. I
Yeah,
think maybe this year he can get a 1,200 yard season, right in
easy.
between there. But his touchdowns went up when he was with Buffalo because Josh Allen was targeting him quite a bit. You know, he had 10 and 11 touchdowns or 10 and 11 touchdowns already with the Bills. So I just think I don't think that's going to dip down too much. I think he'll see a in the double digits this season, then maybe the following season. But I got Adams at 1 myself. So that's where I round off everything.
Any comments there, Chad?
I think we've covered these 5 so in depth that there really isn't anything else to say on them.
Yep, yep. And I think you're about
Well,
right
good.
on that too. So
Good, because I want to get to two quick point. I'm going to do the Book of Eli quick. I know we're because of we've cut out a couple times, and
yeah,
me and Chad were having issues, so we'll try to. And Jay's got to get going to work here soon, but so I'll get my segment in, and then we'll close. I'll see what you guys have to say about this, and then just some some weekend tournament predicts. Just maybe like who you think the Final Four are going to be, and we'll get up out of here. Yeah, it's here. The Book of Eli, it's back by popular demand. John Morant, who, as Jay knows and my brother Eric knows, has completely shit the bed. He supposedly he's supposed to be back in the lineup tomorrow night. I'll believe it when I see it. He's still a game time decision, but the Grizzlies haven't really taken a dip at all in the record. I mean, they're still number 2 in the West, in terms of a record. But if you're playing fantasy, I mean, we're coming up on playoff time. We're coming up on money time, and the fact that one of your top guys. Let me look at the stats right there: over 27 a game, over 8 assists, 6 rebounds. He's shooting over 46% from the field. I think it was like over 41% from 3-point. I mean, this guy's a stat monster, and he hasn't been in anybody's fantasy lineups, and that's just on the sports end of it. From a personal end, I think the guy's a moron. I think the guy, like, what the hell are you doing?
Moron.
John Moran, yeah, John Moran, yeah, no kidding. Flashing a gun that isn't even yours. Like, dude, you're not hard. You know what I mean? You're not hard. You have some. I have tattoos. I'm not from the hood, or whatever, but like, you're not hard. You're not gangster. You're not any dude. You are the face of the Memphis Grizzlies. They've got a good chance to win an NBA championship this year, and you're gonna piss that away because regular season is way different than I mean, they'll be okay the regular season. The Nuggets are up there too, and the Nuggets nobody takes them seriously. Nuggets aren't going to get past the second round, so. Yep. Regular season's a regular season. But to win a championship, you need John Morant in there. To win a fantasy championship, you need John Morant in there. to win money, to win, DFS, anything, you need Ja Morant in there, and he's just screwed a lot of different people, and I wanted to get that off my chest. Reminds me a lot of Plaxico Burress, but Plax was only, from back in the day when he shot himself in the foot with the Giants. But
Yeah, that was dumb.
Plax was only like an average, average to above average player. Ja Morant's got like Hall of Fame talent. It's like, dude, you're an idiot. It's kind of like, or we talked about earlier, Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon with his drugs. It's just, dude, he had all the talent in the world and just pissed it away. And I don't know if you guys have any comments, but yeah, I know, like fantasy wise, he's been screwing a lot of people, and a lot of people are irritated, and it's rightly so. I mean, he's been out for almost 10 games now. So
Yeah, he kind of messed my fantasy teams up because I had him in a couple leagues, and yeah, I kind of lost out on the playoffs right now, so I'm not happy. And I'm playing Jared, which kind of yeah.
I've got 2 quick comments on Ja. One, he might not even be the best player on his own team. I prefer Desmond Bain to him. And Jaren Jackson, but that's when Jaren Jackson's healthy.
Jaren Jackson's a good player. I agree.
They aren't going to even get out of the first round. They match up so poorly against the Mavs if the Mavs are healthy. You want to put Ja up against Kyrie going into the playoffs? No, thank you.
I would. If this kid's head is right and it isn't pulling this nonsense he's pulling, I take him. I take him over Kyrie Irving 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. I think he's
too.
At this stage of his career, I think he's a much better offensive player than Kyrie Irving. Defense is debatable with both these guys, but even on the defensive end, I'd probably take him over Kyrie. Like this, he's just an overall better player. And
the difference is that you get Luka, which is just ridiculous.
Well, Luka's an animal. Luka's a beast too. So, but he's not going to be on. It's going to be That's what that series would come down to. It'd be what people would expect. Luka and Ja, whoever has the bigger series, because that'd be a 6 or 7 game series. That'd be damn close. So, you're not wrong saying that. Oh man. And then I'll get that off. I was gonna say any tournament thoughts? I know Chad was kind of bragging earlier about Princeton. Any Final Four thoughts? Where the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 are this weekend. I'll start with me personally. Let me pull up my bracket here. All right. San Diego State, Alabama. Well, I already told you I got Creighton beating Princeton, and I have Alabama. I got Creighton going to the Final Four. Blue Jays, it's going to happen. We'll have a little graphic there up top. So some love for Creighton. Creighton's going to the Final Four. They're going to beat Alabama, the Elite 8. Go over to the East region. Florida Atlantic's cute little run is going to be over with. Tennessee's going to beat them. And I think K-State beats Michigan State. And then I think K-State upsets Tennessee. And I think it's so far we got Creighton, Kansas State. Go over to the Midwest, Houston and Miami. That's gonna be a deceptively good game. Got the Cougs winning that. Texas Xavier got Texas winning that. Houston and Texas, same place. Got Houston winning that. I had Houston winning the national championship to begin with to kind of save some face. That would help me because my bracket, like everybody else, my bracket's fucked. And then go over to the West. We got Arkansas, UConn. Arkansas has got a nice little run right now. Just beat Kansas. Took out the 1 seed, and so I got them upsetting UConn. They're gonna go to the Elite 8. Gonzaga, UCLA. I got that's gonna be another damn good game. I like UCLA a lot. Gonzaga's damn good. So that's a flip of the coin kind of game. I got UCLA because I got them going to the Final Four. So I got them beating Arkansas too. So UCLA and Houston. I got Houston winning that game, and then I got Kansas State beating Creighton. So it's going to be K-State and Houston in the final, and Houston's going to win the national championship. The Book of Eli.
I wish I had money because I was all over after Princeton won the game that I said they would win. I was once Missouri made through Utah State. That game, first of all, Utah State should be embarrassed they lost to Missouri the way they did. They had about 85 open threes during that game that they just couldn't hit. And I looked at that Princeton team that they were going to run through Missouri, and they did. Creighton's a little bit different. Creighton is a dangerous, dangerous team.
You damn
I
right.
like Creighton.
Yeah.
Well, here's the kicker. They have was it Mike Miller's son on Creighton's
Yeah, Mike
Creighton's
Miller's kid.
team.
Playing.
Yep.
It's a lot. It was a lot. I thought Utah State matched up poorly with Princeton. That's what was going to knock Princeton out. And then Creighton would run through Utah State because that was a bad matchup the other way. With Princeton there, it's a little tougher. But Creighton was my Final Four pick out of that group. So I'm going to stick with it. I lost Purdue. Let's not talk about that.
Everybody did, man.
Yeah, but not everybody picked them to win it all like I did.
I got Houston for my championship winner.
Yep, same here.
Arkansas ruined that side of the bracket for me because I had Kansas making it to the Final Four. Who are they going? It's I'd probably take Gonzaga to go the rest of the way now there. And then I have Xavier making it out of the top of the bracket over Houston. Again, I didn't have Houston making it out of the weekend, so who knows? I still think I like Xavier's matchup with them. It's a lot easier for Xavier to beat Iowa, though. When it was just Iowa they had to beat.
So I'll just give this. So this was my Final Four. I had Arizona and Marquette, but on the other side I got Houston and Connecticut, which are still all in intention. So I was hoping Marquette would maybe gone a little bit farther. I know Eli, you were talking about Arizona. With them, I was like, well, maybe Arizona might be a little bit better team overall.
I thought, man,
and they got beat, and I'm like, well, there goes my whole Final Four thing. So that kind of swiped everything out of the way. But I had Marquette because they were always kind of they're kind of a darling. You just never know what they were going to do. They're a good team, and then they kind of fall off. But I mean, when they get to the tournaments, they're always a contender. So I mean, I had Arizona and Houston in the finals, but so that all got messed up. But I had Houston either way, taking it all.
We got Houston, and then Chad. Who was your national? Was it you taking Xavier, or who's going to be your national champion or predicted?
I have probably take Creighton now.
That's not a bad pick, man. That's going to be if it is K-State and Creighton in the Final Four. That's going to be a damn good game.
I did say the winner of Purdue Michigan State was going to make it all the way and be the champion. Michigan State doesn't have to beat Purdue now.
No, they got to beat K-State and Tennessee probably. Michigan. No, Tom Izzo. I mean, Hall of Fame coach, man. He's pulled.
When Tom Izzo gets there, how many times has he lost in the Final Four? I can't think of any. Like he's lost. I think he's lost a national championship game, but when he gets there, he makes it to the end usually.
I have Bama because I don't. What is it?
Donovan being funny.
My women's bracket is not in shambles, though. I have both of my national championship teams still in contention.
I did a women's bracket too.
I had South Carolina. I took the favorite over. I mean, I took South Carolina because I'm not a big women's basketball, and I know South Carolina's got one of the top programs, so I took them. I don't know who.
Well,
I
had Notre Dame beating them.
You can't forget South Dakota State.
You do one, Jay?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you took SDSU? Nice.
No. I said you can't forget SDSU.
Are they still in the tournament?
Yes, they are. They beat. They're in the second. They're in the second round. They play Virginia. So, and I guess they gone to the Sweet 16 here last year. So I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was on the news last year. They went to the Sweet 16. Yeah, I hope they do it again. Hope they beat Virginia.
Yep. But I have South Carolina and LSU in the final, and I had South Carolina taking the cake.
They already lost to Virginia Tech, unfortunately.
Who, LSU?
South Dakota State.
Oh yeah, I figured they were going to get beat by Virginia. I had it. That's why I had them get beat. I had them going to the second round.
Okay.
Yeah. I had SDSU playing Virginia, and I figured Well,
There's a Cinderella over in the women's side.
yeah. Well, SCSU is not a dark horse anymore because they just
Yeah,
got beat.
yeah, they're
I
yeah,
had them advancing
they're
to
a
the
dead
second
horse.
round. But I think this is gonna wrap up our show here a little bit because yep, I gotta get some grub before I gotta head to work and into the abyss. And Eli's gotta go work out, and Chad is gonna do some other random stuff that he does all night long. I'm sure he's got some MLB drafts to do and some other crazy stuff. But Chad,
I'm
from
still in the
the
Legend Bob Dole's Lion draft, which has been going on forever,
uh,
where we draft
uh,
the worst players possible that play every day.
yes, but no, I appreciate everybody that was here in the chat. It was a great conversation. It was great. It was fun. So I appreciate everybody that was here today. Yeah, minus our technical difficulties. Eli popping in and out, Chad a
It
little
was
bit.
ghosts. It was
Yep.
ghosts, I tell you.
But no, Chad, I appreciate you jumping in with us here toward the end. You're always a pleasure to jump in with us anytime you feel like it, if you got the time for it. So it's always nice to have you on the show with us.
Yeah,
It's
maybe I'll
always,
get my rankings in for the NFC show.
yeah. Hey, there
Yes,
you go.
yes. Next Tuesday,
You can
yes,
actually
please do.
you can actually have a graphic for me.
Yeah, right.
Yes, yes. Let me know on those, and I can get those done. Those filled in for
All
you.
right,
So yeah.
I'll give a spoiler for everyone. Justin Jefferson's going to be number 1 through 5.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
that good.
We're just going to have I'm going to have Jamie do this. Every single guy is just going to have Justin Jefferson's head on it. They'll have the right jersey for the player, but it'll be Justin Jefferson's head across the board.
Yeah, there we go. Yes. So everybody, stay tuned for next Tuesday. We're gonna cover the NFC side. Um, so yeah, and then maybe we might try to do an um, overall show, maybe possibly, or we'll see where that takes us. Because I know the NFL draft is coming around the corner here pretty soon too, as well. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe doing a live stream on that too, as well, maybe possibly. So if we get some guys together, maybe we can do some commentary or live thoughts on what on some of these picks as well. So I was thinking about that too down with the future, and
That'd be great. Yeah.
yeah, and I was
And,
thinking maybe.
Jamie,
But
are you and Donovan recapping your draft from this coming Friday?
we did that Sunday night.
No, I mean the other league, the one that you just had me join.
Oh no, I don't think Donovan's in that 10 point. The 10 point man.
I don't know. I didn't even look at what it was. You
Yeah.
just said join this league, and I clicked join.
Oh yeah, that's my points league because I want to do a points league. So that was a points league one. So, but no, I'm not sure what we're gonna do next. I think we're having a show tomorrow, so we might try to cover bad
Cover
pitching.
tonight's insane baseball game between the Japanese and the Americans.
Yeah, I know. I haven't talked to Donovan much yet, so but yeah, I know I haven't figured out what we're gonna cover there on that end. But yeah, other than that, stay tuned for next Tuesday. We're going to be covering the NFC wide receivers. Chad will be with us, and but yeah, other than that, I think
So
that
you guys wait. So you guys are doing a stream. You guys are doing I can't even talk right now. You guys are doing a stream tomorrow night, Jay? You and Donovan?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, because he can't be there. Sunday shows have been canceled, so its shows will be on Wednesdays going forward.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys, back to back, what better way to spend your week than with Out of Rhythm? Got the Wednesday edition.
And now you won't be going. You won't be going head to head with Sunday Night Baseball every week,
Right? That's for
yeah. Same time. You guys on 7? Or you guys doing
yeah, haven't figured that out. Maybe 4:30 ish. I'm not sure exactly. So depending on his schedule. So it might be earlier in the day that we pop on up. So, but yeah. Well, everybody.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks everybody. Yeah. Tune in to Jamie and Donovan tomorrow night, and thank you to Chad and thank you to everybody for tuning in. This was fun as always. Love
Yes,
you guys.
from
Love you.
yes, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you guys haven't. If not, make sure you catch us on the audio side with Google Play, Apple, and our Discord and Spotify as well. So we will see you guys all later. Laters. No, wrong one. Sorry, guys. I forgot that.